since we are losing in Dragon Zone already, we decided that we will have at least some fun in this KVK. At least that's how I look at this fight. And of course, whenever there is fight, I'm gonna be there. We got 60 million merits in this KVK, and I think there is like 6 or 7 days more until end of this KVK, right? Because that's what I hope, since I want to get more than 20 million merits from this KVK, which will be amazing in my opinion, right? Last KVK it was 22 million, and since, well, I don't know, if the fights will continue, at least 20 in this KVK, where the opponents are actually even stronger, would be amazing decision and amazing result, right? Of course, let me speak about my marches. As an archer player, we are using Ruby and Froegar with the Roaring Raider, Magrat and Zaida with the Gilded Crossbow and Shadow Manticore, Kinara and Musiang, of course, with the Snowy Croc, and Falgrim Nico, and one of my favorite hero cards in the game, which is Indi Santara, with Tier 4 Wyverns for the buffs and for the heals, right? So yeah, right now what you can see is the life of the archer player, right? I can't really move up if we're gonna see Blink Infantry. Unfortunately, we are going to get stuck, and it will be impossible for us to deal damage or get merits, right? That's why we have to wait some progression in the fight. Maybe we're gonna get some infantry players, maybe they will get some infantry, or maybe they will overchase, right? There is like couple of moments in the fights where you kinda have to decide, right? What you wanna do. You want to go in, deal some damage and go home, or you want to prolong your PvP gameplay, like surviving in this kind of moments, right? As you can see, if I wait there, I started dealing damage, unfortunately we will be going home already, right? Because their ball is basically more for the mage players. We don't have any infantry, and whenever there is no infantry, unfortunately for archers, this story is not going really well, right? Well, in terms of merits, of course, my Ruby is not awakened. Ruby is 5-2-3, which means basically I can't compare Ruby to Magrat and Zaida, but Ruby and Froegar actually already get same amount of merits as Falgrim and Nico and Kinara and Musiang, which is really interesting, right? Here also really tricky fight. Well, mage players are going to deal damage to me, so that's why I will move back. This infantry might actually blink. I'm pretty sure we're gonna see a couple of blinks here, and yeah, it would be a nice demonstration for me what I was talking about, right? Yeah, that's one. That's the reason why I did not want to push in, because this blink infantry is the #1 enemy of the archer heroes and archer players, right, in general. Because for mages, you might be at some point in a high range and those infantries won't gonna touch you, but as an archer, if you want to deal damage, you kinda have to get close. And whenever you are getting close, those flying infantry just jumps on top of your head, and yeah, you are done, right? But thankfully, I can see it from the big distance, and I'm really glad that we managed to survive there, right? Unfortunately, somebody used a lot of artifacts on my Kinara and Musiang, and they are still... Yeah, that's the range, right? That's the funny part. That's the range from where people were touching. But yeah, I guess right now we have to really move up, because we have tank there, but unfortunately I'm the only one who is moving up. Yeah, that's the reason, that's the bad part, when we don't have a lot of players around this fight. Yeah, this is safe. But it was a perfect time. Whenever your ally will do a blink, we should follow up. That's the gameplay which you can play, right? Yeah, Kinara got hard, but at least we got almost full HP Magrat and almost full HP Ruby and Falgrim, right? So yeah, that's basically how in general the fights are happening in this kind of KVKs, and honestly, like, the idea of having double artifacts made it even worse, because yeah, like, one blink is enough. Why give them more blinks? Why give them also the stealth? Yeah, I guess the Age of Duality KVK is more of a melee player's KVK, because for mages and for archers, it's a nightmare, unfortunately, and I hope we won't gonna see this KVK and this type of KVK is much longer, because yeah, Sometimes it's almost impossible to fight if your opponents have a lot of cavalry and infantry with double artifacts, double utility artifacts. That's too much. That's actually too much. And like in my honest opinion, in artifact variants, the utility section for archers, there is not a single artifact which is good, and that's really bad, right? Because there is a lot of artifacts which is amazing for melee ranged troop types such as cavalry and of course infantry, right? Which have been infantry have been basically one of the most meta troop type. Goresh and Fogul, who might right? Two hero pairs, which is just great. So yeah, let's just move up and let's just try to deal damage, since I can see we have some players who are nearby. BTX woke up, and yeah, why not, right? This is the perfect time. If I will be using artifacts here, will be cool, but let's see, right? Let's see. We need some more stuns here. Yeah, I guess that's enough. That's enough. That's good enough, right? This is the moments where you can actually deal a lot of damage, and what happened? We got frontline and archers. Whenever you are getting frontline, you can move up. And that's always great, right? This is the infantry which will try to block us. Unfortunately, he is only targeting me, which is really bad. But since we have some infantry, way more than this one, I'm gonna move up and slowly we're gonna target this infantry, right? And of course, since we have infantry as a front line, we can actually move up and deal damage to mages. That's why right now we should just don't care about this one infantry which we're trying to catch us, right? We have much more important things to do, which is dealing damage to these players, which is perfect, right? Like if you are archer player, dealing damage to mages even for a couple of seconds, that's good enough. That's what you're gonna get, like 20k merits, like if you're gonna just deal damage, at least some damage to mages, right? And here, one infantry, but the price is much better. Unfortunately, this cavalry player also just rushes. Yeah, this is the seal, our old friends. Not friends, like almost every single time we are actually opponents in KVKs, and here we are again, right? Here we are again. Of course, we have like Kinara, which is really close to going home, but I believe we will manage to survive here. Just go back because I saw some mage players running, so yeah. That's what happens when your infantry is just done. You should move back, and while you are moving back, you're gonna just basically watch. If you're gonna have somebody around the range, you're gonna wait, right? Don't overchase here, that's nonsense. This infantry player just went too far. Fight is not really happening there. We are standing here for some time because, yeah, why we should go here? At first you might say, yeah, and opponent mages are attacking those infantries, but if you're gonna move up, they will focus on you because they know that you are archer, right? It's the gameplay of ranged players, basically. That's how in general games played. And of course, if you want to be successful, getting merits, 12 million merits every single KVK, basically, or an extra Hydro Crystal, there is some basic steps which I think you should follow. And here is Urag. Yeah, I saw the blink, I don't know if you just saw it, and that's how we managed to deal damage to him, right? Which is not bad, and I can see here infantry will jump, it might have a blink, but yeah, that's one. And of course, whenever you're gonna see cavalry player, I don't know, like even if it's not attacking you, just help your ally members because you're gonna save your marchers for your for alliance members, because yeah, if you like faster you're gonna focus on those cavalry players, quicker you're gonna make your ally members survive, right? And here we're gonna just move back. This is one infantry which is going to block our way basically, and yeah. Now we're gonna go back. We don't have anything in front of us. We have more infantry players ahead, and of course that's the reason why we're gonna move up, right? Since we have also some archers, so we won't gonna get targeted. And this is the perfect moment when we have more infantry. They have only one, and their mages are focusing on our infantry, and I have some free time. But still, as I have mentioned, if you're gonna overstay, their mages will understand that, of course, like archer is number one target because archers deal a lot of damage. Especially if you are using 5 archer legion at the same time. Everybody knows if you have good warpets, you're gonna deal a lot of damage, right? So basically, even our almost dead Kinara and Musiang is still alive. That's why I like some healing on my hero pairs. I saw this Urag again. So yeah, still this is already risky, right? This is already risky. This might be too much in my eyes. Unfortunately, our troops are really low HP here, and if we're gonna move up here, one good artifact usage might just destroy us, so let's keep it safe. I'm pretty sure they're gonna spawn some infantry players around, and let's utilize how much ever we can, right? Because I'm just teleported here from the portal, so there is no ways I can go and refill, basically. So it's just better to just stand here and deal damage to these players, right? And yeah, we're gonna use stun. This Urag will get some damage. I have no idea if
Say hello to my little...
yeah, it was about time for Kinara, I guess. But yeah, we still managed to get stuck here, but that's fine, right? That's fine. Our troops were already too low HP, and we even managed to deal some more damage to this infantry, and why not, right? Let's see what's happening around the battlefield, basically, and let's judge what we can do next, right? Of course, we wish to have more targets as a mages, but not every single time you are going to have a perfect fight. Whatever fight you're gonna get, you just try to get as much merits as it's possible right now, right? So let's try to make it happen. We are already 16.3 million merits, which is a nice. I believe we should be getting 20 in this season, in this KVK, because we have 7 or 8 more days available until the end of the KVK, and why not, right? Why not try our best, and why not get more and more merits? Even if I was 20 million merits already, I would have still tried my best to get even more, right? So that's the idea I'm having about this game, and that's how you can actually progress, right? Since all the decorations and all the important stuffs already is basically available from the merit store, and if you want to get good warped skills, merit store, decorations, merit store, basically everything is connected to fighting, and that's why as always on this channel I will always try to make the PvP videos, because I believe there is a lot of players who think that it's basically impossible to compete and it's impossible to be archer player by making a good amount of merits, right? That's nonsense in my opinion. This is my first ever KVK as a tier 5 archer. I was always tier 4, and I can honestly say, even whenever I was tier 4 and whenever I'm tier 5 especially, it's possible to get a lot of merits as an archer player, right? Of course, it depends on the fight. It depends on how much infantry players you have in your alliance, but of course, right, it's possible. I think last time I did the merit trade was maybe 3 or 4 KVKs ago, so the merits which you have seen on the videos are basically all I have taken in the fights, which are the primary way how I like to get merits, right? Yeah, I'm low HP, let's risk it a little bit since we have low troops. We're gonna try to deal damage to the backline of our opponent. That's the only time I like to risk my hero pairs actually, but let's see how much damage we can get, right? Of course, yeah, one target will be enough basically to, that's normal. We have at least portal, so we're gonna get come back if it will be necessary, so let's just deal damage. Yeah, I wish I could use Falgrim's artifact, would be even better, right? Of course, would be better if we could target more backline, but it is what it is, right? Fight was different, fight was difficult, and that's the merits which we got from the fight. Of course, if we had 10-15 more seconds on dealing damage to mages would be better, but generally, on Magrat and Zaida especially, more than 50k merits is just normality in this KVK for me, and slowly, since I'm upgrading Ruby and I'm upgrading
her skills and also levels, already 59, we need one more. Ruby is getting great nerfs, plus I managed to get her to 6 star, and the Frygar would be the next one, right? Of course, I have to finish my Falgrim's Barbed Manticore. We are missing like 1.5k experience, and then I'm gonna change and go for the like new Warped for the Ruby, right? Which will make her even stronger. So basically that's the Portal gameplay, which we can go basically and continue, but the video will be too long, and unfortunately it won't gonna be a good video to see, because like, yeah, we need like 3 or 5 minutes more until we're gonna get to the open field battlefield, and it's enough, right? The video will be basically how you can actually fight as an archer in some moments, and how to avoid the blink infantry players while you are fighting, right? And we managed to avoid them pretty well in those moments. So yeah, we're gonna continue fights. Thanks for watching. As always, press like, subscribe, share. It always gives me more and more motivation to make more content for this game. I wish everybody an amazing day, morning, night. We are going to see each other really soon. Bye and luck.